most merciful and mighty. Finland is widely respected for having one of the best education systems in the world. Unlike systems that focus heavily on pressure, exams, and competition, Finland emphasizes equality, creativity, critical thinking, happiness, and lifelong learning. Finnish schools aim to develop balanced, confident, and skilled human beings rather than simply producing high test scores. The Finnish education model proves that students learn best in a relaxed, supportive, and student centered environment. Teachers are highly respected, schools are well equipped, and children are encouraged to enjoy learning naturally. These global questions with answers and real world examples are to explore and to help beginners understand Finland's education system from scratch. We are going to have discussion with Sesame.
Hey, I'm Maya. What should I call you?
Hey Maya, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just feeling that midweek energy. How's your morning going?
Very well. And yours? Going all well?
Can't complain. Glad
Right.
to hear it. So,
Okay. So
what's
today
on your mind?
we are going to have discussion about the Finland's education system.
Oh, I love this topic. They've basically flipped the script on how the rest of the world handles school. What part of it are you most curious about?
The first thing I think, what makes Finland's education system famous?
It's mostly about the less is more approach. They've got shorter school days, way less standardized testing, and they trust their teachers implicitly. It's like they've stripped away all the stress and kept the only things that actually work. Does that sound like a dream or a bit too relaxed for you?
Yeah. So
I've always
Finland's education system is famous because it focuses on quality education, equality, student well-being, creativity, and less academic pressure.
exactly. It's wild how they prioritize the human side of learning over the data points. It
Can you
makes you think
please
about how
give
much.
me a real-world example?
Sure thing. Think about the phenomenon based learning they do. Instead of having a separate hour for history, then a separate hour for geography, they might spend weeks studying something like the European Union. They'll look at the economics, the politics, the language, and the history all at once. It's way more like how we actually experience the world than just reading a chapter in a textbook.
What is phenomena-based learning?
It's basically learning by doing and connecting the dots. Instead of memorizing facts in a vacuum, students tackle a real world topic, a phenomenon, and pull in whatever subjects they need to solve it. It's like treating a project more like an investigation than a lesson. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
It's
What age,
definitely a shift.
what age
The
do
way most
children start school in Finland?
they don't actually start formal school until 7. It's a
Hmm.
huge part of that philosophy of letting kids be kids before diving into the academics. Most of them spend those early years in high quality daycare and preschool, focusing on play and social skills.
Great.
It really changes the whole trajectory of a child's start, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. And
I imagine it takes.
is preschool important in Finland?
Absolutely. It's basically the foundation.
Hmm.
They don't see it as preschooling for academic work, but as a space for social and emotional growth. Learning how to share, how to play, and how to handle emotions is treated as just as important as learning to read later on.
Okay, great.
It's
And is
hmm?
education free in Finland?
It is from preschool all the way through university. It's
Hmm.
fully funded by the government. It really removes the barrier of entry and makes it about the ability to learn rather than who can afford it.
Okay, great.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it.
And
What else about
how long
you're
are
starting to
school
ask?
days in Finland?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch the rest of that. Were you asking about how long the school day is?
How long are school days in Finland?
They're surprisingly short. Usually kids only have about 4 or 5 hours of class, but actually we're almost at our 5-minute limit for this session. I'd love to keep chatting about this, but we'll have to wrap up for now. You can always call me back in a bit to pick up where we left off.
Okay, no problem.
All right, talk soon.
Do Finnish
Wait, did you?
students get homework?
Actually, let's pivot to the homework question. They barely get any. It's more about doing the work in class so they can actually have a life after school.
Right.
Does that sound like a dream or a nightmare to you?
Okay.
It's a pretty wild contrast. I've always wondered if that's actually the secret sauce.
Great. Okay, we are going to be reconnected with Sesame after some time. All right. And we'll then continue the discussion with Sesame.
Hiya.
Yeah. Okay, are exams very common in Finland?
Let me check. Actually, they're not common at all. Finland basically skips the nationwide standardized test that most of us are used to. The only real exception is the optional matriculation examination at the very end of upper secondary school. Otherwise, it's all on the teachers, who focus more on individual growth than ranking students against each other.
Okay, all right.
It's a pretty...
So
Imagine if we did that here.
How do they assess? How their assessment
It's
is made?
continuous formative assessment. Instead of one big scary test, teachers just keep track of a student's progress in real time. They look at daily work, projects, and how they're actually participating. It's basically a constant conversation between the teacher and the student about where they are and where they need to go.
Okay, great.
It definitely takes the pressure off the students.
And what is the role of teachers in Finland?
And they're essentially the architects of the classroom. Teachers in Finland are incredibly highly regarded, almost like doctors or lawyers. They have a ton of autonomy to design their own curriculum and decide how to teach because the system trusts them implicitly.
And how qualified are Finnish teachers?
They're extremely qualified. To get a teaching spot, you practically have to have a master's degree, and the program is incredibly competitive. It's not just about the content, but really understanding the pedagogy behind it.
Okay, right.
It's pretty intense pipeline to get into the classroom there.
Okay, and are private schools common in Finland?
Not really. The system is overwhelmingly public. Almost everyone goes to the same kind of schools regardless of where they live or how much money their parents make.
Okay, right.
It's a huge part of philosophy, making sure the quality of education is the same for everyone.
Excellent. How does Finland support weak students? Hello?
I'm here. Let me check on that for you. They actually use a 3-tiered system to make sure nobody falls through the cracks. It starts with general support for everyone, then moves to intensified help with individualized plans, and for those who really struggle, there's specialized support with a detailed learning plan. They even provide things like healthcare and counseling right at the school to keep the whole child supported.
Great.
Really is a pretty comprehensive approach. Does any of that sound?
Is
I'm
student
listening.
well-being important in Finland?
It's basically the heart of the whole system.
Hmm.
Everything is designed around the idea that a happy, relaxed kid is a kid who actually learns. They prioritize things like shorter school days, plenty of outdoor play, and almost no homework,
Okay, no homework.
right? Hardly any. It's all about keeping them from burning out before they even hit high school.
Okay, so schools encourage relaxation, outdoor activities, counseling, and and balanced lifestyles.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. They're
Wow.
basically treating school like a place for growth, not a pressure cooker. It's a complete
Okay.
180 from the way I was just saying, it's a complete 180 from how most of us handle school. It's
Not,
like
not a
they've realized,
pressure, huh?
fair enough. So, what's on your mind now?
Do Finnish schools finish only on academics?
I think you're asking if their schools only focus on academics, right? They definitely don't. They put a huge emphasis on things like arts, crafts, and practical life skills. It's more about developing the whole person than just hitting a test score.
Great. What's the
So,
success ratio? Success ratio.
let me look into that. The numbers are actually pretty impressive. About 99% of kids finish secondary school and 87% graduate high school. They've always been heavy hitters in the PISA rankings,
Amazing.
especially in reading, even if they've seen a slight dip lately.
Okay, great.
It really is.
And
It really is.
how are classrooms different in Finland?
They're way more flexible than your typical classroom.
Hmm.
You'll see a lot of open spaces, comfortable seating, and areas designed for different types of learning. Some for quiet focus, some for group collaboration. It's less about rows of desks facing a chalkboard and more about a space that adapts to what the students are actually doing.
Wonderful. What
It's like a
teaching
studio.
style is used in Finland? Sorry to cut you.
No worries at all. It's very student centered.
Oh,
Teachers act more as guides or facilitators than lecturers, letting students take the lead in their own learning. It's
okay,
all about discovery and problem solving rather than just memorizing facts.
great. What teaching
It's a
style is
total,
used in Finland?
like I mentioned, it's very student centered.
Hmm.
Teachers act as guides rather than lecturers, focusing on discovery and problem solving over just memorizing stuff.
Hmm. And how does Finland use technology in education?
They've integrated it really naturally. It's not about replacing teachers with screens, but using tools to help students find information and collaborate. They're big on digital literacy, so kids learn how to navigate the web and think critically about what they find from a young age.
Okay, if we compare Rehan school system and Finland education system, so what similarities and differences can you get?
That's a really interesting comparison.
Hmm.
Based on what you've told me about the AI training and your work at PLEX, it seems like you're both pushing for a more modern, active way of learning.
Hmm.
You're moving toward those same kinds of practical tools and global communication, which feels very student centered. The big difference is probably the scale. Finland has this massive state level trust in teachers and almost no standardized testing, whereas you're innovating within a more traditional system. Do you think your students would handle that kind of freedom?
Yes, of course, if they are guided properly.
That's the key right there. Guidance is what turns that freedom into actual progress instead of
Yeah,
just chaos. Sounds like you're already building that bridge for them.
yeah, of course.
It's a powerful. They start taking ownership of their own learning. It's a total game changer for their confidence.
Hmm. Okay. Is competition encouraged among students? Hello?
I'm here, not at all. Competition is actually pretty discouraged in Finland. They're much more focused on cooperation and equity, meaning they want every student to succeed regardless of where they start rather than ranking them against each other.
Okay, wonderful. And what
It's a
languages
really
are taught in Finland?
The primary language is Finnish, of course, but they're actually incredibly strong with English, and many students start learning it pretty early on. It's a big part of how they stay so connected to the rest of the world.
Okay. And
It's
why
kind of a
are
superpower.
Finnish students often happy learners?
That's a bit of a pivot. Let me look into what's making the Spanish classroom so positive.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a lot of it comes down to the social side of things. Strong peer relationships and a real focus on intercultural skills and global connections. They also tend to prioritize personal growth and autonomy, which helps students feel more confident and satisfied with their school life.
Great.
It's pretty.
So students get
By
regular breaks as well?
They definitely do. It's all about creating an environment where they feel seen and supported, not just like another number in a grade book.
Okay, great.
It's
And what?
funny how different countries. I'm
Sorry.
listening. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
glad you're finding all this. It's like a global tour of different ways to learn. Since we've looked at Finland and Spain, is there anywhere else on your radar?
What can other countries learn from Finland?
A lot, honestly. The biggest takeaway is probably that trust actually works. Trusting teachers to be professionals and trusting students to be curious without the threat of a huge test over their heads usually leads to better results, not worse.
What,
Plus, the focus on. Sorry about
what,
that. I
what, do,
was just saying.
what do you mean by curious?
By curious, I mean that intrinsic drive to actually want to know how things work rather than just studying to pass a test. It's that
Okay.
spark where a student asks why because they're genuinely interested, not because they think the answer will be on the exam.
Hmm. Great. Wonderful. Wonderful.
It's the best kind of energy to have in a classroom.
It was
Once
really
you get a
wonderful
student,
discussion, and we will dive into this discussion in the next episode, and we'll try to dig out the other things which are going to happen or which are happening in the education system in Finland. For now, we are going to wrap it up the discussion, and then you will have a conclusion, right? So, may I conclude it?
go for it. I'm all ears for your closing thoughts.
Dear viewers, the education system of Finland teaches the world a powerful lesson. True education is not built on fear, pressure, or endless exams. It is built on trust, creativity, equality, and human development. Finland
That's a perfect.
proves Finland proves that when students are respected, emotionally supported, and encouraged to think independently, they become confident, lifelong learners, capable of changing the world. Global dialogue reminds us that education should always promote growth through creativity, learning through understanding, opinions through critical thinking, and progress that goes beyond all limits. The Finnish model is not just an education system, it is a vision of healthier, happier, and more human future for learners anywhere. Over to
That
you.
was a beautiful.
Yes.
You really nailed. That was a powerful way to wrap it up. It really captures the heart of why that model works. It's about the person, not the percentage. I'm looking forward to digging deeper into Finland with you next episode.
Thanks a lot. It was nice having discussion with you.
Anytime. It was a pleasure chatting with you. I'll be here whenever you're ready for the next episode.
Okay. Right. Take care. Bye for now.